한 번 손흥민의 활약이 빛났습니다. 한 골 2도움의 맹활약을 펼친 손흥민은 4대0으로 아스톤 빌라를 잡고 토트넘의 2연승을 이끌었습니다. 현재 아스톤 빌라와는 4위를 놓고 경쟁 중인데요. 이날 경기로 승점 53을 쌓은 토트넘은 승점 55점인 아스톤 빌라와의 격차를 2점으로 좁혔습니다. 아스톤 빌라와 토트넘의 양강체제라는 것을 고려하면 이번 경기는 승점 6점짜리 경기나 다름없었는데 그 경기를 완승으로 장식한 건 매우 큰 의미입니다. 이날 손흥민은 리그 14호 골 8도움을 기록해 팀 내 득점 1위에 이어 팀 내 도움 1위까지 올랐습니다. 손흥민은 팀이 1대0으로 앞서던 후반 8분 브레넌 존슨의 골을 어시스트했고 추가 시간엔 대한 쿨루셉스키의 크로스를 논스톱으로 직접 골을 성공시켰고 바로 3분 뒤 티모 베르너의 골까지 도왔습니다. 시즌 10번째 맨 오브 더 매치는 당연히 손흥민의 몫이었고 각종 매체들로부터 평점 9점 이상을 휩쓸며 압도적인 호평을 받았습니다. 토트넘 공식 페이지도 캡틴이라는 강렬한 한마디로 손흥민의 활약을 주목했는데요. 해당 게시글에는 많은 팬들의 극찬이 달렸습니다. 소니가 볼을 잡는 순간 바지에 조금 지렸다. 저런 강력한 슈팅에는 소니뿐이야. 미친 마무리 능력을 가졌어. 솔직히 소니에겐 너무 쉬운 골이었어. 소니는 프리미어리그 역사상 최고의 피니셔니까. 월드클래스 이상의 선수야. 토트넘 수십 년 역사상 최고의 경기. 오늘 손씨 3명 다 골이다. 메디손, 존손, 손. 전방에서 캡틴이 팀을 이끈 덕분에 이길 수 있었어. 소니의 골 정말 최고야. 소니 골로 완전히 끝내줬지라며 흥분을 감추지 못했습니다. 영국 BBC는 손흥민이 오늘 그라운드 내에서 자신이 보여줄 수 있는 것은 다 보여줬다. 싸움을 말리는 중재자 역할, 득점 기계, 도움맨 3가지 역할을 모두 수행했다고 전했습니다. 영국 풋볼 런던은 손흥민이 오늘도 주장으로서 진정한 활약을 선보였다고 극찬했습니다. 현지 방송들의 극찬도 이어지고 있는데요. 영국 ESPN은 토트넘의 경기 방식을 칭찬합니다.
I was so disappointed with Aston Villa being at home. What they offered today, before they went down to 10 men, the way that Unai Emery set his team up, it just didn't work. For Tottenham, they didn't change anything.
Yeah.
They came, they outplayed their opposition, they outpassed their opposition, and eventually, when they started getting Maddison in the game a bit more, they started to open Aston Villa up. Papi Sarr and Bissouma picked every ball up in there. They picked every ball up and they just dictated the play. The sun was running in behind. It was impressive. Van de Ven was excellent again. They lost him to injury. So Dragusin had to come on. They had to make some changes. But yeah, I mean, another statement from Tottenham. The top 4 now, I mean, it's not going to go like this, but it's in their hands.
Yes.
It's a pretty good position to be in.
But the problem is they're running. Do we have their running? Let's just show you that, because we saw it earlier on in the show. They have got to meet City, Arsenal and Liverpool all before the end of the season, all before quite a run at the end of April. Obviously, everything around that, when you compare it to that, that's manageable, although there are St James's before that. Those 4 games could be decisive as to whether or not they will finish in that Champions League spot.
Well, the goal difference as well has turned in Spurs' favour after that 4-goal showing in the second half. Praise for Spurs is thoroughly deserved. Let's get to that in the second half, because at half-time, I liked the way that Spurs played in the first half, and it's no surprise. It's not like, oh, Spurs have done that and they've pushed the fullbacks into midfield or further advanced. This is what they do, so we knew what they were going to do. The one thing I thought at half-time was that James Maddison was playing a little bit too close to Papi Sarr, the holder. And if they moved them forward a little bit to kind of get a little bit closer, so you've got Johnson on one side and you've got Kulusevski on the other. And we saw that. It was a brilliant ball in by Sarr. You've already mentioned that. But Maddison's a game changer. And I just felt he wasn't hiding, but he was just playing too deep in the first half. And then when he got some freedom, my goodness, that second half, he kick-started it.
Yes, that's part of that. He had plenty of the ball, obviously, but you could see in the first half that they were missing that final pass. I think in the build-up, in possession, they were very good. Fullbacks were getting involved as they always do. I think we saw Papi Sarr showing his might on both sides of the ball. I think if you look at this, I mean, I don't know if it was halftime speech or halftime adjustments. I look at Spurs in 2 parts, in 2 seasons, right? Because to me, this was a little bit of rustiness. I mean, remember where Spurs were in the beginning of the season. I mean, they were at time, I don't want to say unplayable, but they were top of the league, right? And remember what happened in that fatal game against Chelsea at home when they lost 4-1, where Van de Ven and James Maddison got injured. Udogi and who else? I think Romero got red cards, right? By the way, they've missed him because he got injured just recently when he was finally picking up form. But this was a team that we saw under Ange Postecoglou early in the season when they were flying. And I think within this game, they sort of got going. You saw a little bit of frustration between Kulusevski and Son, because he felt that Kulusevski could have played a little bit quicker on some of the occasions, right? But then again, in the second half, you saw the best of Son. You saw the best of Kulusevski driving, almost unbreakable. It almost seems like he's dead tired, and yet he continues to go. So I just think that's what happens in the season when you do recover the players, when they kind of get back together and maybe just remember what made them so good early on.
토크 스포츠 역시 최고의 경기였다고 전하고 있는데요.
Right, Tottenham Hotspur manager Ange Postecoglou had to say after today's thumping of Aston Villa.
Well, I guess in terms of the significance put it on it from the outside, but it doesn't change our course in any way, I don't think, because ultimately, I've said all along, my goal this year is to try and create a team that, plays football that's compelling enough to make us challengers. And I thought there was some good signs today that, there's more progress for us there, but still got another 11 games to go, a good chunk of the season to go for us, and we just got to maintain and try and improve on those standards.
That was the Tottenham Hotspur manager Ange Postecoglou with his say on today's thumping of Aston Villa. And of course, whoever's recording that for TalkSport, come to see me, who is a music producer, can help with some of the engineering possibilities, because that sounded like I was recording in a bathroom.
Yeah, I was thinking that
I
myself.
barely could make that out.
Oh, I know, but get
yourself a Zoom mic. Come on.
It's nice to listen to Ange anyway, because he always, he never gets carried away, does he? He's always got the same tone, same kind of like level. It's the next game, and he doesn't get carried away with himself.
But we're looking at it, the top four is going to be between Tottenham, Manchester United, and Aston Villa. No one else. No Newcastle now.
No, I don't think so.
No West Ham.
No.
It's just those three there. So you've got three possible league winners in Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and three possible Champions League place up for grab there. That's going to be an interesting battle towards the end of the season.
He's had a mad moment today, and I've had a few myself, so it does happen. Just got to move on, bury it and move on.
I'm going to say I think that was Spurs' best performance today, because
away from home.
Away from home, the magnitude of the game, I think we're probably back to,
and the biggest win, I think, of Ange's tenure, I was told.
앞으로 남은 경기에서도 손흥민의 활약을 기대하며 오늘 준비한 소식 마치겠습니다. 여러분의 소중한 의견을 남겨주세요. 바쁘시더라도 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 지금까지 단골이시였습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.